that you are here with me. Those of you who are here in person, and delighted that you're joining us online. If you are doing it virtually, live music or sharing here in person. As we begin our as we open in prayer. We recognize and affirm that everything is intended for our good, that the universe works for us, that blessings abound, that grace showers down, and not in a way that just helps us to struggle, but in a way that lets us leave struggle behind. To live and move and have our being in the ease of spirit. So this morning, as we celebrate this truth, I am grateful for that truth, grateful for the divine within that allows me to express that truth, and grateful for each one who has joined us, part of the great oneness that we are, expressed here today as unity of pacing. We are grateful, and so it is. Amen.
Oh, it's time for our opening song. Amazing Grace. Well, I don't. It's kind of. Oh, that's my favorite. Spiritual music that takes me right to heaven. Including our visitors. Welcome to Unity of Payson. We're glad you are with us. My name is Forum Hostess with the Mostess this morning. If you're here in person for the first or second time, please raise your hand. We'd like to recognize you. Thank you. We invite you to remain after the service for meet and greet so that we may get to know you. And I saw that you already filled out a visitor's card. If you're here with us virtually and are new, we invite you to unmute and say hello at this time. Anybody new virtually? I don't see a virtual. Okay. All right. So we have a Monday e-newsletter that we would like to send out to everyone so you know what we're doing during the week. And so if you're new, you can leave a message at unityofpayson.org if you'd like to receive that newsletter. Go to the Contact Us page. And we'll turn the camera online later on. So those in person, so those online can see those in person, and those in person can see those online. All right, again, we warmly welcome you. And from our Unity of Payson family, we say together, we love you, we bless you, and we welcome you. Gratitudes. We are grateful for those who support Unity of Payson with time, talent, and treasure. We're grateful for the events of last week, which included Morning Cafe, 9:30 every morning, but Sunday, because we're here. Qigong and Tai Chi, cards and games, the gathering, Course in Miracles, highway cleanup, and prayer chaplains meeting. That was wonderful yesterday. We are thankful for the technology that allows us to meet both in person and virtually. Unity is grounded in prayer, affirmative prayer, and meditation. We have trained prayer chaplains to serve you. Our chaplains are available to pray with you if you have a prayer concern. You may call or email your request to Rev Neal at neal.unityofpayson@gmail.com. Our prayer team and Silent Unity will join you in prayer. First, our prayer chaplains hold your prayer sacred and confidential for 30 days, and then your prayer request is forwarded to Silent Unity for another 30 days. And Silent Unity will hold your request 24/7 prayer vigil. We have a box at the greeter table for prayer requests for today also. If you're here in person and would like prayer support today, please tap one of our chaplains on the shoulder after service, and we will find a place that we can meet and pray with you. And prayer chaplains are wearing aqua and white prayer stalls. I'm going to consider this my prayer stall for today. I didn't bring my stall, but I am one of those prayer chaplains. And we have, let's see, we have Marion. Just raise your hand if you're a prayer chaplain. Betty, and we have Marianne, and we have Anne Marie. So there's 5 of us here today. Wow. It's a 2-to-1 ratio or something. Okay, Unity of Patience theme for August is ease and grace. And let's say the affirmation together. I walk spiritual path with ease and grace. Today's speaker is Rev Neal Worthington, and the title of his talk is, I'll take grace, you take ease. But if you want ease, I'll take grace. I'll take them both. Our daily word today is gratitude. What joy it is to feel gratitude rising from my heart and filling my mind. Feeling grateful makes me aware of the all-encompassing presence of God, including the divine within me. When I live from my spiritual nature, gratitude becomes the song of my heart. I don't need to wait for a reason to feel grateful. When I live with an attitude of gratitude, I find the good in every situation, the blessing that can come from any adversity, and the presence of God in every aspect of my life. Practicing gratitude opens my eyes to the blessings that are present and opens my heart to receive even more. I give thanks for an unlimited world, blissful peace, and perfect wholeness. Today, my understanding expands. I discover the divine presence all around me and find holiness everywhere. Every person is a holy being. Every place is holy ground. From Psalm 95:2, let us come into his presence with thanksgiving. Let us make a joyful noise with songs of praise. And let's say the affirmation together. Gratitude is my natural state of mind. So it is. Amen. And now our speaker, Rev Neal, will share the message with us.
No, it's just going to
You can't blow that one out.
instead of straight. It won't screw.
There, we'll set that candle straight. So I'll take grace, you'll take ease. And Donna, you were right on. Let's take both. It's not you can only have one or the other, and we'll talk about that today. I grew up in Western New York State, where in the fall, the nights were cold, the frost was on the ground in the morning, and the leaves turned beautifully colorful. It still is my favorite time of the year because I love the coolness, but the vibrancy of that time. In my mind, and you can kind of see this with me in your imagination, I see myself in a wooded valley with a little bit of open space, but with hardwood trees that have turned those beautiful yellow and red and sienna and purple and whatever colors. Beautiful. And then a wind comes along. And those leaves shower down. They shower down and they carpet the ground. But a few of them fall in the small stream that's alongside of these trees, lends its way between them. And instead of the abrupt falling to earth, although they floated down, they continue their float down the stream with ease. No struggle, just ease. Sometimes they get caught up in something and a pool of water forms behind them, and then in due time, they continue their journey flowing down the stream. I love this as a metaphor for grace and ease. Grace, the shower of blessings that the tree provides, and ease, the effortless movement on the journey. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We'll talk, of course, about gratitude, which we've already talked about because it's definitely a part of it. We'll talk about acceptance, because this also is crucial. And we'll talk about struggle and what we can do to unencumber ourselves from struggle. Let's talk about grace first. This is the one that we talked about last week. And grace is what I call unconditional favor. It's given to all of us. As creation, we are divine by our very nature. We have an inheritance of all that the divine is. We are connected with the divine without question. And so all that supply, all that substance that stands behind creation is there to be accessed as blessings for us ourselves. And as children of the divine, as expressions of the divine, we claim that inheritance, that grace that doesn't seem to start with us, but yet we just have it always available to us. So I remember I grew up in the home of a Baptist minister. So I learned a lot of Bible verses when I was young. And they keep coming to my mind these many years later. And I remember one of them in particular, and I'm going to quote it to you in the King James Version because that's what I learned it in. My God shall supply all your need. There's no need that you have, and I'm going to expand that there's no desire that you have that's inaccessible. The divine, not just your God, not just my God, not a personal God that we have in the same way as we might think of father and mother, but an all-loving, all-divine presence that surrounds us and is in us. That divine is there to supply every need. That's grace. But part of grace is also gracious receiving. You know, it's funny, you can be given a gift and you can either literally say no and push it away, or in effect say no. Have you ever been given a gift and you said, oh my, you shouldn't have.
Mhm.
And accept this is too much. That's on a human level. Or if you're given a compliment, oh, it's nothing. That hesitancy to accept ourselves fully and the blessing that is there waiting for us. Grace has to be received. And then, after grace is received, grace can be expressed. Because our connection with the divine, the oneness that we are, means that we're a conduit for that grace to the world. So grace, unconditional favor, to be received and to be shared. There's a beautiful daily word a couple of decades ago, I believe, about grace, and I want to share it with you. Grace is the power I lovingly convey when I recognize and express my Christ presence. The divine living, there's a Christ presence within each of us. We say, Namaste, the Christ in me recognizes the Christ in you. That divine presence within me is waiting to be expressed. Ernest Wilson was a longtime unity teacher, and here's the way that he describes it. The spiritual way of attainment is often called the way of grace, because it comes as God's free gift and not by arduous effort. I kind of put together what I say is a key spiritual truth for what I want to share today, what I am sharing. Here's what it is. As we accept ourselves and our circumstances, gratefully receiving the showers of blessing, we let go of struggle and navigate life with ease, grace. If I had thought of it soon enough, I would have told you showers of blessing we need. Mercy drops around. Do you remember that song, any of you? I see some head nodding. So ease. So the catchy title, which really we've demolished already, let's take both grace and ease. I kind of put these two words together. Grace hyphen ease. Grace ease. Grace ease. Let's take them both.
Grace ease.
Grace ease. Let's take them both. So ease is the part of it that we turn to now. I spent about a year and a half in India, roughly 10 years ago. Not in an ashram, but just in a simple seaside community that also was a resort community frequented particularly by Europeans. And I was there in a unofficial consulting role with an Ayurvedic resort. And that resort was, of course, facing the sea, the cliff, and then the sea right there, the Arabian Sea. But around that resort was the village, a very poor community, densely populated. And it was quite a contrast to the relatively luxurious accommodations that were there for those who paid to be at the resort. But the resort wanted to be connected with that community nonetheless. And so invited members of the community to come in and say, what can we do to help our community? And I was privileged to sit with them. And as I sat with them, I found out that their number one need, what they thought would best help them in their life, was, would you believe it, to learn English. Because, of course, there were all these European visitors, many of whom spoke English. English was the predominant language. But also in India, there are 67 states and they all have a different language and nobody can understand each other except in halting English. Well, they could try Hindi, but that's not very good for conversation. So to learn English was the number one thing so that they could be of service and provide things for people to buy, souvenirs and other things, and engage with that resort population in a way. So guess who sitting in that meeting was to be the English teacher? It was me. So immediately I began in my mind planning, how can I put together some classes to teach English? Well, they didn't term it to be classes. This was going to be a school. how can I put together a school? How long will it take? What resources will I need? And I was frantic in my mind because I wanted to serve that way. But I thought there were so many things that I didn't have that I needed. Well, we went on to discuss, and they said, well, let's have a meeting. We'll invite everybody in the community to a meeting and tell them what we're going to do. We're going to have an English school. Let's do it tomorrow. So flyers went out in the community. I don't know who produced those flyers, but flyers went out in the community, probably no more than 200 yards in radius from where we were. And 80 people showed up. And then I found out, well, y'all are interested. Half of them roughly children, half adults. Let's start the school. When will we start the school? Tomorrow. So again, where are we going to have a classroom? How are we? I have no curriculum. I don't have any English training to teach English as a second language. I didn't major in education. How am I going to do this? And I was seized with, how can this happen? But you know, it happened. A 2-room house just across the way that didn't have a roof on it, small thing, was offered. And that next day, the men of the community got palm fronds and roofed that house. The resort went to the market and found that there was a piece of plywood and some blackboard paint. Put that up, put the blackboard paint on it. And a box of white chalk. And 2 rooms with dirt floors. We started the school. I didn't believe it possible. I could think of so many things I had to do before school could start. But school started, kids in the afternoon, adults in the evening. And it was a glorious experience as I was able to relax into it, to just let it happen. Some of my favorite memories are the kids loving to sing. Phyllis said they would have loved to have you there. They just love to sing. And I can remember it was about the time of Christmas, them learning Jingle Bells, and they were oh so proud. And I remember that they loved games, and we went down to the beach and we collected shells. Took those shells and with a marker, we wrote letters on them. Went to the temple and bought some very inexpensive towels, white towels, lettered out a Scrabble board, and we had 5 Scrabble games. Now, I'm not sure we ever played the game like it's supposed to be played, but we learned some words, and we learned some English. The point of the story is I was seized with what I have to do and what I need that I don't have. But when I was able to relax into it, what a marvelous experience for me, for those kids, and for those adults as well. So that's what ease, I think, is all about. It starts when we realize that life is intended to work for us, not against us. So much many times we get caught up in the struggle of doing life. Life is, we're working against life. But life, the universe, the divine, all that is, intends that life work for us, not against us. So we recognize that. And then we accept both ourselves and the situation we're in. Back in that Indian village, I was having trouble accepting myself and what I could do. I was having trouble with the situation, the circumstance, not enough to do what we wanted to do. So acceptance of ourselves is critical. And I think this is one thing that we miss out on in terms of ease. We have to learn to be patient with ourselves. Donna shared with me a book that she likes by Paul Ferrini, The Circle of Atonement, if anybody's familiar with it. But Perini in this beautiful passage kind of translates or interprets a greater truth from Eastern sacred sources. And here's what he says with regard to ourselves. I am okay right now, just as I am. I don't have to change anything about my life. Everything is okay. Even the things I want to change are okay as they are. Even my wanting to change those things is okay. I accept my lack of acceptance. If we could get to this place to accept that it's perfect for us right where we are, we don't have to have that angst that it's got to be I've got to be in a certain place. I've got to have this credential. I've got to be prepared for this. I've got to have this skill. I've got to have this kind of smile even. No. When we can accept, because remember, we're expressions of the divine. The divine doesn't make ugly stuff, doesn't make bad stuff, doesn't make stuff that isn't suited to the world that we're in. We sing a song once in a while by Ricky Byers. It goes like this. No, I'm not going to sing this one. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. Struggle. This world isn't made for struggle, yet we insist that we do it. So our challenge, if we would slip into the ease of life, the grace ease that we want, is to be able to let go. Eckhart Tolle says this. By the way, all this letting goes happen within in consciousness. Before we get around to action, Eckhart Tolle says, accept, then act. Whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it. Always work with it, not against it. And I think a key element to experiencing ease is the ability to pause, the ability to wait. We have two little kittens about 4 months old. Donna's training them to wait. She says, wait. You know, in the morning I go down to open the rooms that they're confined to, their bedrooms for the night. And they're raring to go, they're meowing, they're running under my feet. They got to have that breakfast right away. Donna's saying, wait, don't jump on the counter because you can't wait. Just wait. Oh, that we could learn the same lesson, to wait. Remember the scripture in Isaiah in the Hebrew scriptures. They that wait on the Lord will renew their strength. They will mount up with wings like eagles that soar with ease, may I say. They will run and not be weary. They will walk and not faint. So how do we put grace and ease together? Let me go back to something that Ernest Wilson, the Unity teacher, had to say. When you have gotten your mind and soul into right relationship with God or the divine spirit, you do not have to seek, strive, struggle, or painstakingly select and decide as to your actions. God's spirit acting through you makes you immune from harm and wrong. Your mind being right, your actions must of necessity be right. It all starts within. That's where we do the work. That's where we do the work of receiving grace. That's where we do the work of sharing that grace. That's where we do the work of taming the struggle, letting go. drifting into the ease, the divine ease that is our inheritance, if we will but claim it. So how do you begin to get a handle on this? How do you, well, I created an acronym to do this because I think they're these four elements, a four-letter word. No, not that kind of four-letter word. Real, R-E-A-L, because this is real life that we're talking about here. Real, R, recognize. Recognize the worth that you have, that you are. Recognize the endless supply that the divine is waiting to shower you with. Recognize that. E, evaluate. Take time to observe yourself. If you look at a day, how much of it is spent in struggle, angst? Accept it. That's the next one, A. If you're in that place, after you've evaluated and found something that you want that's a bit more. And then, of course, L, let go. It may take time. It may be like grief, that you have to go through some depression and some anger before, but accept yourself even in that. But don't hesitate. Move forward, move on. So I'd like to give you a daily exercise. This is your assignment for the week. Number one, I mentioned this earlier. Pick what you need and give it. Do you need money? You probably got some, a little bit. A widow's mite, as the story goes in the Christian scriptures. Give it. Sound intuitive. I have so little. How can I give? But give what you need. If love is what you need, find a way to give love. Maybe to somebody that you're not even acquainted with. Give love. Give love. Guess what? You're going to find out that your need is going to be fulfilled. That pathway to ease is going to open up. So pick what you want. And I'm going to suggest that you, if you're a journaler, put it in your journal. The things I wanted today were such and such, and I gave it in this way. Put that in your journal and see if you can get this exercise, really work it, flesh it out. The other half of the exercise is to name your struggle and deal with it. What are you struggling against? What's really tearing you apart? What's keeping you awake at night? Name it. Of course, you're accepting it, but then deal with it. Spend some time in your inner being to rest with it. Name that struggle and deal with it. And as you go through the process of dealing with it, accepting yourself along the way, you'll be able to let it go. The more practice you get, the quicker you'll get there. So I suggest these two things. One, pick what you want and give it. Name your struggle and deal with it. So let's go back to that same spiritual truth that I talked about. We accept ourselves as we accept ourselves and our circumstances. Gratefully receiving showers of blessing, we let go of struggle and navigate life with ease. Think of those showering leaves floating to the ground, floating down the stream, continuing their journey. Grace ease, if you work that, you'll have the reward of a soul come alive. I guarantee it. And so it is.
Yeah, lots of wisdom, lots of wisdom. So please, let's prepare. This is an old classic song from the oratorio called Elijah. And it just popped into my mind for and the unity song where you I'm quiet. Kept singing. I'm quiet, I'm calm, and at ease. That's what lent itself to me, and I didn't even remember it said at peace, which means the same thing. So I chose that as a simple, short introduction to "Oh, Rest in the Lord."
Beautiful, Phyllis. It's a time for quiet. Time for pause. Time to go inward and do this with me. Just breathe. Put your feet on the ground and feel your connection with the earth and all that is. And in the quiet of this moment, delight yourself in your nature, that divine nature that you are. Whatever place you are, expressing that, fulfilling that. Delight that it is so. The promise is great. So you recognize the truth that all your needs are ready to be provided. All your desires are wanting to be fulfilled. And as you're in the quiet, imagine with me again. Valley with a stream running through it. Trees just everywhere in glorious color. Symbol of the great abundance. It's there. And then the wind comes along and those leaves shower down. That vibrant color gets even closer. Perhaps you pick up some of those leaves to take home and to press with wax paper to preserve and conserve and memorialize them and the beauty of that time. And then notice that the leaves that fell in the nearby stream are continuing their journey with great ease. And know that that is for you. Know that the promise of ease, of peace, of rest is there waiting for you. It's a matter of where we put our vision. So in this place of quietness, turn your vision inward. Within your very heart of hearts, the divine resides in all of divine power, in all of divine wisdom, in all of divine imagination. Resources that you didn't know of or you didn't remember, but they're there for you. So claim them. And as you see the struggle and the frustration that you have had in your life come into the edge of the picture, see it recede as well. Know that the path to let go and experience the ease that you're imagining is there for you. So we take this into the quiet of our souls. All is well. All is well. All is abundant. All is whole. Is well. In the quiet, discover that in your soul. Now it's time to bring your awareness back to this time, this place. So we breathe, and if you have your eyes closed, it'll be time to open them. But bring back what's inspired your soul. In your life. All is well. Life is destined for ease. Grace abounds, and so it is.
I was thinking about turning off the front lights during that meditation after it started, but I was able to close my eyes and it didn't matter that the lights were on because it was so powerful. Thank you, Rev Neal. Now is the time to share our gifts and our offerings. Unity of Payson greatly appreciates your gifts in support of this ministry. These gifts go out to the larger community as well. Unity of Payson tithes to the larger community. As you listen to the offering song, you'll have time to make a contribution. The offering will be passed in person here in Payson. If you're attending virtually, the information for giving is on the slides. To make it easy, just go to unityofpayson.org. And in the left menu with the lines, you'll find Donate Support and click on that. And then there'll be a donate button. Click on that. It works, I use it. Okay, so please bring your attention to your gift at this time. Let's call to mind our heart's desires. And together, let's affirm. Freely we give, and freely we receive. The song is God in Everything.
This is one of our unity songs that we used to sing a lot. I hope that you can follow it if you don't know it.
Now it's time for the dedication of our offering. We bless the givers. Divine flowing through. Bless and multiply. All that we are. All that we have. All that we give. And all that we receive. We are abundantly prosperous. We give thanks. And so it is. So we have changed that to we. Yeah, on here, but not on there. Sorry about that. And now it's our connection time. We want to recognize our in-person attendees, and we want to pan out to the live audience as well as have a gallery view.
So ask people to turn on their video if they can.
To be part of the gallery view and wave and say hello.
Hi, I'm Joy.
Hi, Joy.
Hi, Joy. Joy's
Hello,
in Colorado.
I'm in
Used to be
Colorado.
vacation.
Hi, everybody.
We're only seeing the tops. We're not seeing the peoples. There we go. Hi, Betty. Betty, you have a blue halo over you. Sweet. Oh, you do. Hello, everyone. I have to get close to see.
There's a pretty good group there at the church.
This is the time that we all can be together so that we can feel that we're all together.
Let's see.
Round again, Rick.
There we go.
Couple of times. All right, next Sunday's speaker is Reverend Julianne Lewis. And her talk is Life is Grace. And we continue with our theme of ease and grace for August. And let's say the affirmation again together. I walk my spiritual path with ease and grace. So it is. I'll share a few announcements with you today, but there are many things happening. Please check the website at unityofpayson.org. And also the Monday e-newsletter for all the details. Our meetings are on Zoom unless otherwise noted. Our regular events are morning cafe, Monday through Saturday at 9:30. This is a half hour of time where we read the daily word and talk about what it means to each of us. And it's a lovely, lovely gathering. And I invite each of you to join us. Just go to unityofpayson.org and click on the blue Zoom link and you'll be with us. All right. We have Qigong and Tai Chi, moving meditation with Teresa. That's Sundays and Wednesdays at 4:30. And that's 40 minutes, I think. And that's today. Cards and games at K's every Thursday. That's locally. And the gathering, the next meeting is September 11th. And organic gardening at Shanti Olmsted. Contact Ron to participate. We have the writers group coming up Thursday, August 25th at 4 o'clock. That's this Thursday. That is a fun group. I'm part of that group. And the only requirement to be part of it is a love of writing. And we have different exercises that we do together and we share. And now we have a PS from Neil.
Couple of things. I do hope you will stay afterwards if you're here in person. We have Phyllis at the piano, and Phyllis is not going to stop playing just because the service per se is done. She's going to continue to play. So there'll be some things, and you can come up and sing along. We'll have the words on the screen as well. So if you'd like to do that and sing a little bit more, get on up here after we close with the prayer for protection. One other thing, at the back on that welcome table, there is a survey. Our host, Payson United Methodist Church here, wants to know what we like, what events we like. And so they have a survey. Please fill one of those out. Take just a moment to fill that out, and we can give that feedback to them. We have a wonderful relationship with them, and we'll do some things together. And so please fill the survey out before you leave if you're here in person. I think that's about it. So we'll go now to our closing. If you're here in person, stand. If you can circle up, be respectful of each other. If you're being a little cautious, allow people to be cautious. We're still questioning how much connection we should have.
The love the power of Texas on the power and the presence of God watches over us on and presence where is.
TJ.
But loves you. The Lord.
Sure. Yeah, thank you. You have a way with you at all.
Yeah.
Potential.